Japan, or you only used live action people?
Yeah, because
so I figured it was only live action
we've done like an animation show, and I figured we could do another animation show, but what the hell? Superheroes on TV.
I've had so many people say, "Have you watched Young Justice yet?" And I mean, literally, that's like my most number one asked question.
That was the thing I kept getting over and over too.
And I'm like, I haven't watched it yet, and so Nate and I sat down and watched all 9 episodes back to back, straight through. And they're like, wow, that was. You'll have to wait till we talk about it.
Yeah, thank God, because I kept looking at you going, wow, you still haven't seen that goddamn show? I mean,
I've seen it
That
now.
is the one show I actually went out of my way to see, only because Leon was telling me about it so much, and I was like, all right, if you're telling me it's like right up there with Justice League Unlimited, which is the greatest superhero show of all time, in my opinion, I'm like, I'm in. All right,
if it wasn't for Young Justice, we would do a live action straight show. But because of that, it's got to be better.
Fair enough, yeah.
You guys call me when you do
this is the live action and Young Justice stuff.
Well, okay, who's seen Young Justice?
Me. I only saw the first 2-episode thing.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, well,
No.
I've not been shy about the fact that I love the show.
Well, don't you have a question to go with
And I
that?
love it too.
No, actually, I don't have a Young
I
Justice
thought
question.
no. I thought you had a question that you were leading into that I interrupted with. I'm sorry.
No, it was that. Are we gonna do just live action?
Yeah,
or
live
Oh,
action.
okay. I'm sorry. All right. All right. So, if you guys, you two both saw Young Justice?
Yeah.
Those two.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to say for the record, I mean, like, there's been a lot of shit based on the primary, DC and Marvel stuff, animation coming out in the last couple of years. I mean, a lot. And I feel like the only exceptions to that rule have been stuff that have been playing up the camp factor.
Yeah.
Like with the Batman show, The
Brave and the
Bold,
Brave and the
which is
Bold.
like, okay, it's okay for what it is, but it's hard to take it seriously at
Sure.
all. Whereas Young Justice is the first one that really is serious on a Justice League Unlimited level type of serious about like telling good stories about these real characters from that universe with a sense of continuity and a sense of honesty and a sense of like almost sometimes a little bit of brutality, quite honestly.
The liberties they take with that show is really interesting to see. Well, it's like, wow, they're really going all out, and just these characters where you're like, oh, wow, okay, that's Superboy fucking almost punching out a girl.
He is a douche.
Yeah. He's the biggest fucking
he's
prick.
an asshole.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
wow.
you know who's a bigger asshole than him? Superman.
Yeah.
to where like even Batman's saying to him like, okay,
Deadbeat
look,
dad.
he's a clone of you. He kind of needs your guidance.
Yeah.
And Superman's just so like, I'm sorry, I'm just too weirded out by this. I can't deal with it.
Superman always has this look like, you know what? If fucking these other superheroes weren't around, I'd just throw your ass into the sun. I mean, I really would. I have no use of you. I don't even know why you're talking to me. I don't know why we're sitting down here. Batman fucking told me to hang out with you, and I don't even want to do that.
There are moments you expect Superman to go to Batman. Oh my God, what is that? And then just take Connor and go, yeah,
but
fastball special into a supernova.
I would kick your balls in your throat if I had to. I just don't. I want you to stop talking to me.
Now, presumably, this is supposed to be Connor, right, from the comics.
Oh, yeah.
Because they still haven't given him a name
Right.
in Young Justice, but he's wearing that definitive black T-shirt with the red
and
logo.
jeans, yeah.
So presumably this is supposed to be Connor, who is a great character in the comics. I really love him in the comics. I like him better than Superman in the comics, for that matter.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's a terrific character. He's really interesting. I mean, partially because he's got that struggle of like, fuck, I'm like not even a real person. I'm a fucking clone of Superman.
He's a clone of Superman. Well, at least in the
Superman
comics,
and
he's
Lex
Superman
Luthor.
and Lex Luthor.
I know, which is even like more complicated. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get there
Right.
in Young Justice, because we know almost nothing about his origins except that on some level he is cloned from Superman. We don't know
Somebody
from
found
the
some Superman
goddamn
sperm on the floor. Made him basically.
God, dude, what's this wadded up Kleenex with an S on it? From the Cadmus
Happy
Institute.
Kleenex.
It's always
Not
causing
sad
shit.
Kleenex.
I found it interesting that these are a bunch of they're not second stringers, but they're the
Sidekicks.
the sidekicks on the show, and yet they all feel really fully developed, and I was just captivated by each of the characters, especially Aqualad.
Yeah,
He's a badass.
It's like
He's
so
a genuine
they
badass.
finally done something cool with Aquaman and Aqualad.
They had no choice.
Yeah.
At this point, there was nothing else lame to do with them. All they could go was up. At
Well,
this
we
point.
ran out of shit.
Yeah. Which is
Might
interesting.
as well start bringing out the good storylines.
Have they had sex with each other yet? No, we can't do that on TV.
Well, they
dude.
even bring
Well,
in the original Aqualad at one point.
Yeah,
in the
Garth.
series. Yeah, Garth. Yeah.
Who is like not really the original Aqualad in the context
Yeah,
of this.
in this
And
continuity.
it has been officially said by, not on the show, but outside of the show, that this is considered to be Earth 616, which is not at all the primary DC universe.
Okay.
So they can honestly do whatever the fuck
Okay, I
they
guess
want.
they can.
Which is
in this
funny. Which is
storyline.
funny that you can, like, at least with DC, they can just make up. This is Earth 662 something out of my ass,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what it is.
Well, you know
what?
what? Marvel does the exact same
Yeah, they do.
thing with their various, like, oh, this is this version of
Yeah,
this.
this is the Ultimates and-
DC has Elseworlds as well. I mean, like, this is not an unfamiliar thing, but I like that DC says this continuity is labeled as this, so we can fucking keep track. At least there's that, and God knows nobody knows better than DC how hard it is when you start creating parallel
Right,
everythings. You better make a file cabinet.
Yeah, which you know, I almost wish DC would say that with Smallville. Just go, okay, look, this is whatever the fuck we want it to be, 212, and you know, just leave it at that. So everyone who's constantly bitching about that show is like, oh, they
Yeah.
don't do that in the comics. It's like, shut up already. I mean, you're probably not even
Thank
reading
you.
comics to not realize that there's a fucking bunch of parallel fucking Earths. That's fucking ridiculous to you, and you don't want to complain about that. But you complain about a show just who wants to take liberties doing something different, which I'm like,
Yeah,
Wait,
Smallville is watching.
wait,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Smallville?
yeah.
What a great
Somebody
segue!
mentioned Smallville.
Wow, I didn't.
Did I say that? Did I
He
do
saved us.
that?
That's the word of the day. That's the word of the day. Well, Angry Orc wrote in to say, Dear League, this is a question for the awesome Coast 3000 and maybe Cat.
And definitely Cat.
If I'm not wrong,
He
she
meant,
like,
and
super
maybe
hot
the
cat.
bodacious.
well, it's only because he's not sure if you like Smallville too.
Yes, I do.
Do you feel that the success of Smallville ultimately hurt the show? No, I'm not a hipster. By dragging the plot
Okay.
too much to tell a simple origin story. Like,
So,
is it- like-
if I interpret his question correctly, it means like because they kept getting renewed, because
Yes.
it was doing well,
For
did that
10
draw it out
seasons.
too long?
Yes. If a story that should have maybe gone 3 years.
3 or 4.
What was
Yeah,
it? I
yeah.
thought the original plan was 5. I thought 5 or 6.
I assumed it was 4 because it was only like, you know, Clark going through high school.
Okay,
basically.
I have not
Yeah.
actually watched past the first 8 or so episodes of the first season, but I thought I remembered at some point saying there was a definitive plan for an ending point, and the ratings were so good, and they most
they just
certainly
kept
were,
going.
Yeah.
that they were like, well, fuck it, why should we end?
You know, do you want to go take it first, or do you
No,
want
go
me to...
for it. No, you seems like you got something on your mind.
I think there might be something. It's one of those questions. Okay, here comes the historian. It's one of those questions to which I don't think there is one definitive answer. There are a lot of contributing factors, and I do think that the fact that they needed to keep it going probably did, in some measure, contribute to its decline in quality in the last couple of years. However, I don't think that's the only problem that it had. The thing that I have noticed that has been what I think is just the biggest problem is too many cooks in the kitchen. Because when you look at the episodes and in the beginning you watch the credits and you look at how many different producers, I shit you not, there are 12 and 13 producers on some of these episodes, and that is just too fucking much. You've got too many people putting their ideas in, and you end up with it getting muddled, and you end up, like, to me it's totally frustrating because you have, at least in the current season and last season is when it's gotten really bad on
Is
that
it 10
count.
and 9?
Yeah, so this is 10 and last year, so yeah, seasons 9 and 10, you have so many, you have such a good story arc going, and you end up wasting time on episodes like Clark's bachelor party episode.
Does he get married?
on-
Is he engaged?
They
yeah,
do
he and Lois are engaged.
hangover
They do a hangover episode.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, with red kryptonite?
No. Magic champagne enchanted by what's her name with the purple eyes?
If you guys aren't going to take
Oh,
this
Zatanna.
I'll just move
Yeah,
on.
Zatanna.
Elizabeth Taylor?
Zatanna. Yeah,
Yeah,
Zatanna.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, Zatanna pretty
yeah,
much spikes a
Zatanna-
bottle of
Zatanna-
champagne. They all drink it,
Yeah.
and then like
Why
they
would
wake up
Zatanna
the next
do
day.
that?
Because she's
Why wouldn't
crazy.
she?
She's a crazy bitch.
Because
Why
she's
wouldn't she?
awesome.
She
in
knows
the
how to
ring.
party.
Oh,
She know, I mean,
no.
obviously
Yeah.
that girl knows how to fucking
She
party.
is awesome.
She's the girl on the
She
show
wanted-
who's always trying to like fuck Clark when
Like-
nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a
Pretty
regular
much.
character
Yeah.
in the
She,
show.
well, not a regular.
She shows up
she's like
every once in a
recurring,
while. Yeah.
Okay.
recurring
But I love her
character.
character.
But she's
she's
a
fantastic.
slut, is what
she
you're saying.
pretty much.
So
is.
she,
But
because
she wanted
it sounds
to
like
give
she's
it, like,
married
she
Kate
knows
Olsen as
that-
Beasley.
Yeah,
But
she
really,
knows that
Paul
there's
Dini
no-
approved of this, is what I'm saying.
You know what? And the thing is, I wish I could remember the actress's name because she looks like
She's
a
really
taller,
great.
hotter version of Mila Kunis almost. She's
Oh, so
actually
you're
okay.
selling me
You remember
now.
the
Oh,
scene?
she's
You remember
way
the scene in
prettier.
Tron with those girls who were wearing the white outfits that dress up
Yeah.
the guy? She's one of those girls where it's like they picked 4 girls who were like the hottest girls in the universe and basically put
Yeah,
them in that
no,
scene.
she's
is fucking
really
gorgeous, but
gorgeous.
she does a great job playing Zatanna. It's,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that I actually like about Smallville, where when they do these episodes incorporating
Serinda
certain,
Swan.
yes,
Serinda Swan.
Serinda Swan,
Yeah.
yeah. She's fucking gorgeous. But what I like about Smallville is that when they do find the right actor to play one of these side characters, like usually like if they have somebody playing like Zatanna, they'll get it so right that you almost want to see a spin-off episode.
Yeah.
Just because the initial episode that they do on Smallville where they're like featuring this character.
She's also in Breakout Kings.
Oh, is she?
She's terrible in it.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Oh, she's-
well, she's great. She's great as
Zatanna.
Yeah, she's
Really,
great as
she
Zatanna.
is.
So she
Well,
didn't break out too well from
Yeah,
the
the show itself is just terrible.
Yeah, but
But-
saying, I mean, but that's the one positive thing I would say about it is that 'cause I think with Smallville, the casting sometimes they get it like spot on. I know
Like
they're getting-
Pam Grier as Amanda Waller.
Yeah, as Amanda
Yeah.
Walker.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw an episode the other day with Rutger Hauer. He was
As
playing
a hobo with a shotgun.
yeah, I said homo with a shotgun. No, I said homo with a shotgun. I don't know where that came from.
That too.
Yeah, he can play that.
Those
too.
pants don't go
Yeah.
with those jeans. You need
But,
to change that belt, son, or I'm going to put some buckshot in it.
Or
Who wants a full load of?
or the awesome
I'm going to put a full load right in your eyes,
Right in your-
mister.
Yeah, right in your face.
or the
right
or
in your
the
pie
awesome casting
Yeah.
of Christopher Reeve.
Christopher
as-
Reeve, yeah.
as Dr. Swan.
Dr. Swan, yeah,
You
which
know,
I
and
watched
then-
that episode day.
And then with and Margot Kidder as his assistant,
Mhm.
you know, and that there's
Yeah.
then there's like the bit about where they had a romance, and Clark's mom is saying, "Oh, you and Dr. Swan," and she's like, "Yeah, in another lifetime." Like, and then Linda Carter as Chloe's mom. I mean, they have all these
and- yeah, they had-
wonderful.
and don't forget Terry Hatcher. They
yeah.
revealed her as being the mother of the new Lois Lane.
Right,
Yeah.
in flashbacks.
In a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
But-
what I want to know here is, like, if you were going to tell someone, okay, I'm one of those people who've been cynical about the show for a while, but then again, I was about Supernatural too, and then I listened to Kat, and I'm incredibly grateful for that because that's a great show. But
'Cause I
one
know
of those
good
people
television.
coming in like you're a comic book fan, you're already familiar with most of the continuity, and you want to skip right to the good stuff. What season should you start with of Smallville?
I'd honestly say season 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3 are actually like.
Yeah.
2 is when it had the highest ratings, and you can understand because they really like you could tell they were finding their footing with season 1. Season 2, you know, they started to get a little bit more into the mythology and just him developing his powers, and just the relationships were really solid in that season, I think.
And I think in season 3, it's like character development,
Yeah.
character development.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying with the, you know, as far as like if the show suffered from having too many seasons, I mean, I like the fact that, you know, with the 4 seasons, I wish they would have done a more solid job with really fleshing out Clark being a high schooler, using his abilities, because it seemed like, okay, we have to like fill in now these remaining years. Like, how are we going to do this and still keep it interesting without going back to he's still trying to learn how to fly. I think what they did, which I kind of like, is they took kind of the story elements that are going on in Superman right now and adapting it to his young life, to where in a weird way it's like it's Clark having these Superman adventures with him just still being Clark Kent and dealing with these situations as Clark Kent. Not
that's
every
one of the-
episode is going to be a winner, only because my problem with TV shows like this is that I wish a TV show like this only had like 12 episodes to really tell their solid story.
Well, but that's the thing is, like, I was thinking, okay, so now they know that they're coming to the end. They know that their time is limited, and they're still fucking around
Right.
with these throwaway episodes.
Which is
And-
the problem with this last season.
And that's the thing. I'm like, for crying out loud, guys.